Is it a possession or a body swap? And what's BS in movies? All this and more on a brand new How Did This Get Made? Last Looks! Hit the theme!
How did this get made? Trash can fires in Jacob's ladder. Started out bad, now it's getting badder. Jason Statham, Angelina. Down at the Largo is where I seen them. How did this get made? Tall John Shear and Jason Zeus. Balcony monsters about to puke. Drew Diane asks what's its mission, and where the butt starts is another question. How did this get made?
James! Projector! James! The projector is broken again. Oh my God. I am so sorry about this, folks. Our projector repair guy, James Acaster, was supposed to fix that problem, but I guess, I don't know, he just hightailed it back to the UK right after our show. And don't try to unpack the logic of what we just tried to do there, because this is an audio medium, and if James Acaster left after the show, who was yelling at people, this is entertainment. It's not supposed to be analyzed, okay? Anyway, how are you? I'm Paul Scheer, and welcome to How Did This Get Made? Last Looks. That's right, this is the show where you, the listener, get to voice your issues on Dream a Little Dream, a movie that Discord user Scully thinks should have had the tagline, Dream a Little Dream, double your Corys, double your confusion. I like it. It's solid. Look, I'm always going to go all in on a Double Mint Gum reference. Is it a little bit too old for our age group? Who knows? Some of you get it, some of you don't. But if you've never heard of Double Mint Gum, do yourself a favor. Go to YouTube. Google some Double Mint Gum commercials. You're going to see some wonderful work by the top twins in the biz. Not just a set, multiple sets of twins. The Double Mint Gum, double your pleasure, double your fun. Anyway, thank you, Scully, for that tagline. Remember, if you have an alt movie tagline or title, submit it to us on our Discord, and we might just read it here on the show. Double Mint Gum ones definitely get preferential treatment. Anyway, coming up on today's episode, we'll be hearing all your corrections and omissions on Dream a Little Dream. We have a brand new segment we'll be introducing in the show in just a little bit. Jason will stop by for a classic Just Chat all about the TV and movies that we are currently loving. And as a reminder to you, one of the things that we are loving is our friend Joe Mandy's brand new special on Hulu. It is coming up, and we want to give you a little taste of it right now. So, Scott, play the clip.
Okay, this next joke, I'm going to apologize before I do it. Because I'll admit, it was written from a very cis hetero perspective. So buckle up. For straight women, tall is boobs. Here's what I mean. Women treat tall men with the exact same level of superficiality, the exact same, brain-dead tractor beam energy that men treat big breasted women. And it's fucked up. We have to talk about this, you know? We have to have a national conversation. It's not okay. All you have to do is watch one episode of that show, The Bachelorette. She goes on a date. It cuts to her interview. And she's like, oh my God, Preston's incredible. He's so handsome. He's so funny. He's got a great smile. And he's tall. And I love that he's tall because my dad is tall. So I'm just used to tall men. You know, we've been conditioned to think that's an okay, acceptable thing to say out loud. It is not. It's fucking psychotic. Imagine if The Bachelor acted that way. It cuts to his interview. He's like, yeah, dude, Kelly was cool as hell. Like, she's really cute. She's fucking stacked. Did you see that? Holy shit. I was looking at them all night like, God damn, they're huge. They're so huge. And I like that, you know? Yeah, because my mom has fat tits, you know? So I like that. Makes me feel safe.
Just a reminder, Chill premieres on Hulu on December 13th. You're not going to want to miss it. Joe is one of my favorite funny people. Emmy award-winning Joe Mandy. You're going to love it. It's a great, great, great special. Plus, I want to let you all know, that we have tons and tons of sales. That's right. We have Team Sanity, Team Fred pint glasses in the Pod Swag store. We also have exclusive autographed Joyful Recollections of Trauma books with a Castle McQuaid bookmark in them. You couldn't get that Castle McQuaid bookmark unless you bumped into me. Now, as part of my holiday gift to you, you can purchase an autographed book with a How Did This Get Made personalization and a Castle McQuaid bookmark. Oh boy, oh boy. But if that's not enough for you, you want a personalized book, if you hear this before December 10th, just go to my website and I will hook you up with anything you want. You tell me what to write, I will write it. It'll be personalized and will be sent out on December 10th. Just go to Chevalier's bookstore or my website and you'll figure it all out. We're also going to reveal next week's movie, which is going to be a good one. And speaking of that, it's now time for me to mention the How Did This Get Made holiday live stream show on December 12th. That's right. We are bringing back the old crone herself, Jessica St. Clair, to talk about a great film, a classic Christmas movie that you've never heard of. Tickets are on sale now at howdidthisgetmade.com. That's hdtgm.com. I believe it's a little cheaper if you buy it before the show starts. I'm not sure about that. I could be totally lying. Could I check? Maybe, but not now. I don't have time for it. But here's the thing. You can watch a show from around the world, and you can watch it 7 days after the event. So if you miss the live stream, you can watch it at your leisure. All right. So people, I got to tell you, we've been doing this show for a very long time, and very rarely do we add in a new segment. But today, before we dive into corrections and omissions, I want to announce that today we are tackling something that is a pet peeve of mine. And I am talking about those BS trends in movies. That's right. We're going to be breaking down all the things that we think are BS in movies. This segment is brought to you by Midas. And the reason why we're talking about BS trends is because when it comes to car care, there's a ton of BS out there. I mean, that's bad service, of course. Now, Midas provides an auto experience without the BS. From oil changes to tires, with Midas, you can get reliable service that you can trust. All right, let's talk about things that we don't like in movies. You know what I don't like in movies? When there's like a misunderstanding that lasts for days. Most rom-coms are built on just somebody accidentally overhearing something, and then they change their entire life, and they should have said, oh, wait, did you say that I should buy a car? Or did you say that I won't go far? And then because they didn't go far, they changed their whole life, and they become like this Australian biker. Anyway, that might have just been a Steve Guttenberg movie, but you know what I'm talking about. No more misunderstandings. I hate misunderstandings. Just clarify yourself, all right? And then this is an old school thing, but we don't see people say goodbye. People never say goodbye on the phone. No, they just hang up. Another one. Who has time for these breakfasts? Every time I see a movie, people are, the spread is amazing. What time are you getting up? 3 a.m. to get a spread that good? On Christmas, I'm trying to make a spread that good. It takes me hours and days. This is like a normal day. Somebody comes down and breakfast is ready. All of a sudden, it's like a movie where it's like 12 kids, a Cheaper by the Dozen reboot or whatever it is. There's too much. Pour some cereal. The other thing that gets me, the baguette in the bag. Oh, everyone who goes shopping gets a baguette. Come on. No one's eating that many baguettes, okay? Other thing the other thing that I don't like, CGI babies. All right, I don't like these puppet babies. I don't like CGI babies. Use the real thing. I don't care that they shouldn't be on camera. I want more real babies in movies. If I want to go see Yoda, I go see Yoda. I want real babies in my movies. If I'm seeing it on the big screen, save the fake babies and the puppet babies for Netflix. But if I'm seeing a movie on the big screen, you give me a real baby. Give me that real baby, just like Jason says. All right, those are just some of the BS trends that I have noticed in movies. And you know what? I challenge you to tell me some of your BS trends. What are the things that you are sick and tired of in movies? Give me a call at 619-PAUL-ASK. That's 619-PAUL-ASK. But you're going to be Paul telling me what the BS trends are. And I will play some of my favorite calls. Thanks again to Midas for sponsoring this segment of BS in movies. I can't wait to hear from you on our next Last Looks episode so you can air your grievances. It's just not me yelling. And remember, don't let yourself get taken for a ride when you bring your car in for service. Turn into Midas for a straightforward, transparent communication about what you need for your vehicle maintenance. It's time to get automobile services tailored to your actual needs and say goodbye to the BS. Welcome to Auto Care without bad service. Visit Midas.com for a location near you. All right, welcome back. Last week we talked at length about Dream a Little Dream. We had questions, and we might have even missed a few things. Here is your chance to set us straight, fact check us, if you will. I mean, you can do it. It's the internet. Internet is built to tell people that they are wrong, and now you can do that to us. It is now time for corrections and omissions.
Corrections and omissions. There's no need for permission. You got it a little wrong, so we wrote down this song. Corrections and omissions.
Thank you, Andrew Winston, for that theme song. All right, we are going to go to the Discord. Johnny Unusual writes, here is an explanation for why Corey Haim's character was given a limp. And the explanation in the film is pretty close to the truth. Wikipedia says 4 days before filming, Corey Haim broke his leg and Dinger's character had to be rewritten to include the injury. While his actual cast was removed during filming, he had to wear a fake one for the remainder of the production. In the movie, Dinger says that his mother hit him with her car. In real life, Haim broke his leg while trying to teach his mom how to ride a motorbike. She couldn't use the brakes, ran into the side of the wall, and broke her nose and Corey's leg. Okay, I knew this. I thought I brought it up. Maybe we edited it for time. Oh, wait, I see what you're saying. They had to remove his cast during the middle of filming, and they had to put a fake one on to complete the filming. Well, here's the thing. I never saw Corey Haim be believable in that cast. I think the whole story is BS. Shout out to our previous segment. Yes, I believe that Corey Haim never broke his leg. And if he did break his leg, his sense memory is terrible because it doesn't look like he remembers what it was like to have a broken leg. All right, next up, Del Preston writes, Meredith joked about the choreography in the episode, but I checked the credits and there are 2 choreographers listed, Tony Fields and, get ready for it, Corey Feldman. Yes, Felddog was actually credited as a choreographer. I do want to make it known that I didn't say Felddog. I appreciate you saying Felddog, Del. Of course he was credited. The man did a Michael Jackson dance that was truly superb. I mean, it's funny because you look at that and you go, well, he just is ripping off Michael Jackson, but it's still impressive. I mean, did he choreograph that or did he steal it from Michael Jackson? And if you stole something from Michael Jackson, can you still be credited as a choreographer? I guess the answer is yes. Also, Del wants to note that Corey Feldman did not sing Dream a Little Dream in the end credits. Nope, that was Mel Torme and Mickey Thomas, who Meredith did mention played the teacher and was the lead singer of Jefferson Starship. Oh, come on, really? You're not even giving me Felddog singing? Mel Torme, I like Mel Torme. You know what? Give Jason Robards and Corey Haim some singing lessons and let them sing that end credit theme. I mean, where is their Will Smithism, right? You got to get in there. You can't just dub that. I'm mad. All right. Grammys and the T-Rex writes, I love the joke about Alex Rocco and Victoria Jackson's age gap, but I think your math was slightly off. You said that Rocco was 53 and Jackson was 30 years old at the time of the shoot. Then you subtracted Feldman's age of 18 from each parent's age to deduce that Jackson would have been 12 years old and Rocco 41 at the time of birth. However, Rocco would have been 35 years old, not 41. I know the numbers don't matter that much, and it's still gross and problematic, and your point still stands. Well, if my point stands, then why did you even bring it up, Grammys? But I appreciate your correction there. Thank you for correcting that. I don't know how I did that, but I am terrible at math, and honestly, I'm not surprised. My son tries to get me to do math homework, and it's not a good look for me. He loses respect for me. I have to stay out of the kitchen during those moments. All right. John, not Connor, chimes in on the age discourse. Oh boy, everyone's coming after me about this age thing. I bet Victoria Jackson's hair curlers were intended to make her look old enough to actually be Corey Feldman's mother. I mean, yeah, I guess. Good point. But seriously, was Nora Dunn busy? I mean, was anyone busy? There are women that are older than 30 or men younger than Alex Rocco to have done this. These weren't plum parts. These are side characters. I mean, They're not even really funny side characters. They're just really just like, why did they need to cast those parts up? I mean, was it even cast? I mean, Alex Rocco probably was a cast up at that point. I don't know if Victoria Jackson was. Was she on SNL at that point? I guess she was. Anyway, a waste of casting. Dr. Guts 1003 writes, is it possible that there wasn't even a dormant swap between Lainey and Gina, but rather that Lainey's inability to recall things like her locker number and the dance routine are simply the result of being repeatedly roofied by her mother and Ron? Dr. Guts, you got the goods. Yes, this woman is being roofied all the time and is having short-term memory loss. Oh boy, we've uncovered something big here. Firebird writes, I think this movie could have at least made the old man and woman be in a coma while Coleman and Bobby were having to work together to figure out whose body Gina is inhabiting. And instead of Bobby playing a prank that renders the entire plot of the movie pointless, they're racing against Coleman and Gina's declining health in the hospital so they aren't stuck together forever. Now, honestly, Firebird, that is the way to do this movie. Not put them in some dream dimension, some Inception Nolan bullshit where they are. That I don't like it. That would have been so much easier. Firebird continues and says, maybe that's all in the Corey cut. We release the Corey cut. That should have been the shirt. I mean, it would have been the shirt until James Projector. Johnny Unusual is back again. This is not a body swap movie. A swap implies an exchange. As far as I can tell, Jason Robards disappears. So this is a possession movie. Yes, Corey Feldman is possessed, though based on his acting, he spends a lot of the time completely forgetting this fact. Yes, Johnny, good point. Corey Feldman does not embody Jason Robards at all. And wow, the hits keep on coming. I mean, I was ready to give it to Dr. Guts, but now between Firebird, Johnny Unusual, people are just firing off fact after fact. IQ Winehut writes, Roger Ebert created something called the Stanton-Walsh Rule, which stated that no movie featuring either Harry Dean Stanton or Emmett Walsh in a supporting role can be altogether bad. Now, I think that Harry Dean Stanton in Dream a Little Dream was the first time that this rule was broken, with the second being Emmett Walsh in Wild Wild West. Wow, we have the unique distinction of doing the two rule breakers in the Roger Ebert Stanton-Walsh rule. Not something I take with a lot of pride. Wow. So many great corrections and omissions this week, but there can only be one winner. One that is the best. One that truly is mind-blowing. And, honestly, so many of you came in really, really hot. Everything about, I'll even go back to saying that Grammys and the T-Rex, even in the correction, it was a good one. Del Preston breaking it down. Everyone bringing it to the table. But I gotta say, Johnny Unusual, not only because Johnny Unusual submitted twice, but Johnny Unusual calling out the one mistake that we made repeatedly, time and time again. This is not a body swap movie. This is a possession movie. Must be the winner for this week because that reconceptualizes the entire film. And that's why our good friend, Johnny Unusual, is the winner. And you get nothing, but you do get this amazing song from Katie Maris. Hit it!
You're inside, really impressed, Paul. You win!
Some restrictions apply. All submissions become property of HDTG and prizes have no cash value. Basically, you win nothing.
I love that song. Katie, aces on that song. Now remember, if you want to submit a song to us, email your theme to howdidthisgetmade@earwolf.com. Please keep them short. 15 to 20 seconds is best. And if you want to chime in with your own thoughts about the latest episode, hit up the Discord at discord.gg/hdtgm or call us at 619-PAULASK. All right, coming up after the break, Jason will stop by to chat about all the TV and movies that we are currently loving and binging. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, baby. By now, I'm sure you've noticed that every Monday we re-release old How Did This Get Made episodes back into our feed. This last week's episode, we talked about the Hugh Jackman and Meg Ryan rom-com, Kate and Leopold. And next week, we are talking with one of our all-stars. That's right, Casey Wilson is joining us to discuss Harry and Meghan, A Royal Romance. Yes, we are bringing out some of the classics from the back catalog every Monday. So keep on checking out all of our replays. You are going to find some true gems in there. All right, without any further ado, it is time to just chat with Jason. And before I even do that, I want to say that this was recorded before Jason and I went on tour on the East Coast with Dinosaur. And wow, you all were fantastic audiences. We played in Boston, New York, and DC. The shows were awesome. The crowds were electric. We had amazing guests like Edie Patterson and Chloe Trost and Rob Hubel, and it was just a great, great time. Thank you so much. We are going to be in San Francisco on February 2nd, I believe. So check that out if you are in San Fran, and more tour dates are coming. All right, people. Without any further ado, let's start chatting with a little something I like to call Just Chat. Jason, welcome back.
Paul.
It's December. Oh, yeah.
Whoop.
Holiday season is upon us.
Oh, I've started my Gilmore Girls advent calendar that you gave me. Thank you so much.
I'm so happy it's there. I have, we're doing a bunch of different advent calendars at the house. We have a Star Wars Lego advent calendar that's
Ooh, nice one.
Opening for my kid. We have an NBA advent calendar for my other kid. And then the family advent calendar is a National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Advent. Yeah, we are.
Is that a movie you've all seen? Have the boys seen that movie? Okay, great.
Yes, we love. I mean,
what are your
kind of
traditional Christmas or holiday watches, rather?
Well, I'm going to say this, and it's one of them involves June. It's called 8-Bit Christmas. June is in it, and the kids love it.
I've seen
and
it.
not even because June is in it. I think because of video games and whatever it is. So, the ones that we go to on the reg: Home Alone, Home Alone 2, Elf, and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Those are heavy rotation, rewatch, go back through them. Those are kind of our, I would think,
That's
family
your bedrock.
phase. That's our bedrock. Kids do like. I'm in one. June is in one. And depending on the moment, they definitely like 8-Bit Christmas a lot. But then last year they liked my movie a little bit more than June's movie.
Wait, which one's your movie?
I did a movie called Family Switch, which is a body switch movie that just happens to take place at Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you, I don't know if I told you this, Jason, at the last Dinosaur show, a young man, nice young man, came up to me and said to me, I'm your biggest fan. And I said, oh my gosh, well, thank you so much. And he said, yeah, I've been following your career since Family Switch.
Oh,
and I said,
that is so cute.
And at that point, not even a year old at that point. And I said, thank you. But I laughed because it felt like a bit. It felt like a bit that someone would do.
What a good joke.
Yeah. And it was that was a funny joke. And, but it was very serious.
Oh,
and
I
appreciated it. I did appreciate it and embraced it 100%.
Oh, that's very sweet and very cute.
Yes. So that was a nice moment. But I do like to, when last year when that movie came out, I like to, yell at the kids when I was dropping them off at carpool at other kids. They're like, you're in Family Switch. Like, get out of here. I hate you kids. That is not even really technically my character, but I do like to goose them.
Good. Yeah. They deserve it.
And you and I, we're going to go see Sean Astin on Broadway doing a reenactment of Elf.
Yep. Can't wait. Yep.
Why are we doing this?
What are we up to?
Yeah.
Why is this what it is? Why is this what Broadway is? You know what I've never thought to myself? I wish I could see Elf on Broadway starring Samwise Gamgees. Never.
And look, I mean, I think it's not. Look, no offense to anyone who's playing Elf, but all I will say is this: Elf is so good because it's Will Ferrell, right? Will Ferrell is. He's the reason. He is the reason.
I don't think I need, and this is just me. I don't think I need any of these musicals of things. I don't need Back to the Future, the musical. I don't need.
I honestly, like, what makes me angry about that, you would never say, like, oh, well, Back to the Future makes a great musical. Like, you could say, like, okay, maybe The Bodyguard can translate into a musical. Elf, I don't know. Why are we doing it? I don't know why we're taking the things that we like that are good and saying, let's add music to it and then put it on.
Well, it does seem like they are caught in the same trap that we are in some ways, which is people would so much rather have something IP driven to try and build around rather than come up with new ideas.
Yeah.
Like we just aren't inside of new ideas. And I think on Broadway, even more so, it does seem like for Broadway the last bunch of years, it has really been revivals or musical adaptations of nostalgic movies for people our age specifically. Beetlejuice, Back to the Future.
Who are like, I don't like musicals. So, but if you give
Or
it to me,
theater.
or theater,
Yeah.
I will go if you give me that. I will go if Sean Astin plays Santa.
Is this all because of the producers? Is that the first, like, we wrote songs and put them into a movie from the past?
I mean, well, the fact that the producers even,
the producers, Spam-A-Lot, those were the two that I remember being like, why would they do this?
Spam-A-Lot, at least I think creatively, was trying to do something.
Sure.
I think. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Who knows? Didn't see it. Never
yeah, but now it's just like straight up like, the fact that the producers is a movie that then became a musical, that then became a movie on the musical is truly one of the craziest switches I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. It's insane.
If we were living in a different time, The Odd Couple, I guess The Odd Couple is a stage play that became a TV show. They should have been gone back on stage as a musical. I mean, it's weird. It's weird.
It's so weird.
And I like musicals. By the way, I saw when I was in New York, Oh, Mary.
I'm seeing it. By this time I will have seen it as well.
You will. And that's what we should be talking about.
Yeah.
What a great, if you're in New York City, if you can go see it, that's the fact that this is even existing on Broadway is exciting and different and fun.
This is Cola Scola's show.
Yes.
And then I will also mention on YouTube, Cole has a previous special that is up on YouTube. It's like a half-hour special. It's called Our Home Out West.
Okay, great.
Our Home Out West. And that's great too. And while we're talking about YouTube, I will... no, we can keep going. If you've got anything else to shout out.
Shout it out.
Did you want to talk more about O'Mary?
No, I don't, because I want people to see it and enjoy it for what it is. I didn't know. I knew it was great, and it succeeded in being great. That's all. I was having so much fun with it. And it just, it's like, I don't know if you feel like this too. It's like, it's fun to feel inspired by people doing stuff that, because I think that there is a certain level of things that get made for it to be so interesting and weird and bizarre and get mainstream success. That's such a small needle to thread. And the fact that he did that was like, everything about it is inspiring, but also it's just like you leave going like, oh, I love it. I love everything. I love what we get to do.
It's so great when something finds its moment.
Yes.
And everybody like grabs onto it and rides the wave and is like, we're all agreeing that we love this, you know, and doesn't feel like it was somehow predestined. It doesn't feel like it was made to happen, or it doesn't feel manufactured. It feels like a real grassroots event. It feels cool.
It's like people, if you trust them with cool things, they will actually enjoy it. And I think that that's like the fun part. That's the fun part of it all.
That's great.
Really, really good. Well, we haven't talked about what we've been watching.
I've been watching a bunch of stuff.
Me too. I'm excited to hear what you got up.
Great. Just a couple of quick things off the bat. There's a new season of Chef's Table out called Chef's Table Noodles that is terrific.
Love it.
David Gelb, fantastic series, Chef's Table, all the different spin-offs of it. This is a great one. Colin from Accounts, season 2, just absolutely dynamite. Australian rom-com sitcom is so funny and so sweet and so fantastic. Rivals. Have you watched any of Rivals?
What's Rivals?
It's on Disney or it's on Hulu. I can't remember. It's the same thing now.
Yeah.
It's a British show. This is a wild show. It is so horny and so soapy. It feels like a throwback almost to a Falcon's Crest or a Dynasty, sort of, in that it's about like posh Brits living in the Cotswolds, at a time in the 80s. And it's all about like the rise of private TV networks in the UK.
Oh, wow.
But it's all really about rich people fucking each other, and it's so nuts, and it's based off of these books, and the author of the books, this woman who is now 91 years old, has adapted her horny,
Whoa.
sex-filled books for TV, and it's great. It's just a blast. David Tennant is in it and is one of the parts. There's a lot of people you'll recognize from a lot of your favorite British shows. It's just so fun, and like I said, it's very soapy and very fluffy, but it's a blast, and it's well worth getting into. Rivals.
Ooh, okay. I am into that in a major way. I would like to. I have to find these shows that I can watch with June. It's hard to
I think
find.
she will love this
Okay,
one.
that feels
I think
right.
It's fun as hell.
Okay.
In a way that I think you will enjoy.
I mean, I
also
will continually tell you my Star Wars journey and say that now that my son loves Star Wars so much, June is now tortured by our family begging her to watch Star Wars. And she's like,
that's
no,
so funny.
no. She's like, you guys can go downstairs. Like,
Oh my God.
So we are often, my son and I are often kicked downstairs to watch
so funny.
stuff.
I love it. Have you watched, I'm sure you have, and if not, you guys will love it, June as well, Anatomy of a Lie.
Yes.
The Grey's Anatomy, True
Yes,
Lies.
that was amazing.
Yeah, I thought that was fantastic.
And look, we've talked about this in like these little lies, right? Like these little lies
Oh, yes.
that can balloon into something that is so unmanageable. And there's a part of me that feels like I have sympathy on some level, right? Like,
Sure.
and I think that's the hard thing about this is like, I'm not gonna do it, but you can see how people, how this can kind
Get
of
carried away.
Yeah.
Get carried away, and it's so interesting. It's so interesting. Also, it may be for us especially because this is the story of a TV writer, a woman named Elizabeth Finch.
Yeah.
Finch. A woman named Elizabeth Finch who there's a great Vanity Fair article that is about this whole scandal. And then that article has been adapted into a 3-part documentary, which is what we're talking about. And it's this woman who is a TV writer who ultimately becomes a writer on Grey's Anatomy. But then this wild web of interconnected kind of white lies that just turn into straight up lies, all this stuff that just perpetrates and permeates her entire life. And it is so interesting and such a strange story to follow.
Oh, yeah, look, and I'll tell you this, I've been going into lies. I've been going into these. Look, I tell you, June watches only murder.
Oh, that's right.
And we just stumbled upon another show that's a very interesting one. It doesn't have any Hollywood connection to it.
Sure.
But it's called Family Secrets. It's also on Peacock. I believe that one is on Peacock as well, the lies one. And this is about this girl who has gone missing. And her sister later in life puts it together that her dad probably killed her. And it's this wild, they've never found her body. They she just disappeared. And and the father's like, oh yeah, she ran away. There is some stuff in this, and I won't overly explain it more than this, but it's a good little twist and a turn on this idea of a daughter who, I'll give you this moment of it. At one point, she says to her boyfriend, she's like, do you think my dad had anything to do with my sister disappearing? And her boyfriend's like, yeah, everyone thinks that. And she's like, wait, what? And that kind of causes her to go and dig in. And I'm like, wow. So a really good, an interesting story. Family Secrets, the disappearance of Alyssa Turney.
I'll check that out.
There's a podcast about a crematorium. Have you heard about this?
No, not at all.
It's the Noble podcast.
Okay.
And it's, so basically there's a crematorium in Atlanta where, I guess the long story short is the machines at the crematorium stopped working. And and the people running the crematorium just kind of started burying the bodies in the back. They found,
what this reminds me of is that cryogenic freezing scandal from was maybe that was 15 years ago. Was it a This American Life? They did a thing about it, or somebody did a thing where it was similar, where all these people who'd paid all this money to have themselves frozen such that they could be unfrozen in the future when their illnesses all of the tanks failed. So all these people like thawed out and died.
Oh, it is this story is wild because the way it kind of starts is a FedEx guy or somebody is like delivering a package and he goes around back and he drops out the package and then kind of just catches something out of his eye, which is like an arm coming out of a trash bag, and calls the cops.
Wow.
And the guy, he's like, you need a warrant to check it out. They come and they go, these machines haven't worked in years. And they find 339 bodies.
Wow.
And maybe even more because they don't even, everything is mixed and matched at a certain point. But it's a really interesting podcast because that's a sensational part of it. But it also goes into family dynamics and things about why you might do this and interesting. So it's called Noble.
That's cool. And I was right. The one I was talking about is a This American Life called Mistakes Were Made. Oof. And it's about the failure of a cryogenics lab.
But again, small lies. Small lies, exactly. Right? You're trying to do it right.
I'll use This American Life as a pivot point for one of my favorite movies that I've seen this year, which is a documentary called Flipside.
What's that? Which
is the guy who is a documentary filmmaker, Chris Wilcha. I'm not going to remember his last name. He also was the filmmaker behind This American Life when they did those few seasons at Showtime or wherever they did it. But regardless, a documentary filmmaker who then he becomes very successful directing commercials. And this is a documentary about himself and about his process. And I genuinely felt like the two movies this year that I have felt more seen by, there have been two movies this year that I have felt more seen by than in recent memory. One of which I talked about a while ago, Blue Giant, the anime Blue Giant, about jazz musicians. And this one, which is about artistic momentum and procrastination. And so the documentary is all about this guy who has all these opportunities and he starts to become wildly successful as a commercial director. And then he feels so creatively unfulfilled that he starts a documentary about a record store called Flipside Records, where he used to work in New Jersey when he was a teenager. But then what happens is he kind of stops 10 years go by and he stops making the documentary. So the movie is a collection of footage of all these different documentaries and things he's started and abandoned. All of this stuff, all of these projects that were meant to be his next big creative endeavor, his next big thing, all of this stuff that he put hours and energy and time into that just kind of then disappear. And suddenly it's 10 years later and he hasn't been back and so he goes back. And so you get inside of this documentary all of these peeks into all of these other little documentaries that could have been their own movie, but he just never finished them. So I think I feel very connected to that inability to follow through and make decisions and finish a project.
What is the name of it again?
Flipside.
Flipside. You know what that reminds me of? I know it's similar, it's different, but it's similar. What was that documentary where the film student challenges his film professor to remake his movie?
Yes, it's not a film, it's the Dogma guys. It's the 5 Obstructions.
So yeah, it was where Jorgen Leth created this like short film called The Perfect Human, starring a man and a woman sitting in a box while a narrator poses questions about their relationship and humanity. Years later, Lars von Trier made a deal with Leth to remake the film 5 different times, each under a different set of circumstances and with von Trier's strictly prescribed rules. And each time he completes it, there's a more elaborate challenge. It's almost like a reality show meets but I think the idea, from what I remember, was Lars von Trier wanted to get Jorgen Leth inspired again.
Yeah.
So by putting these things in front of him to make more, to actually lean in.
To problem solve, to have to, yes. Well, and this was also like the era when the Dogma, manifesto went out, which was from those filmmakers that were all about these restrictions to filmmaking. You have
Right.
to shoot with natural light. You can only, there was all these kind of, the Dogma Manifesto is worth looking at just as isn't this interesting? A way to give filmmakers problems that might inevitably, through trying to circumvent those problems, create interesting solutions.
Well, I think that that's always something for me where I'm always excited when you have to make something and you are content, or you believe like, well, there's only one way to do it, and then you can't for whatever reason, and then and sometimes the best stuff comes up, whether that's even in casting or location availability. It really is always. I mean, like you kind of talked about that when you were working on John Wick, right? Because it just started to rain, so like, oh fuck, well, it's gonna rain.
Oh, it always rains.
Right.
It always rains. And whether or not if it started raining, great. There was never a bummer. Just using all of it. That production unfazed always. Like nothing happened that they seemed unable to kind of pivot. And I never saw a massive production be that at ease, that calm, for so many moving parts and so much, frankly, dangerous stuff, stunts and so forth.
Yeah.
For everybody to be so calm and which makes everybody feel safer, makes everybody feel better, because when a set is like, right. I'll grind it up because, we've got this big stunt today. Everybody's freaked out, and everybody there was like preparation. It was, just being ready for it and malleable and able to pivot.
What else you watching?
I'm going to run down some pretty fun shows. I'm still in I want to watch people solve a mystery. So one of my favorites, we both love The Kings. Elsbeth season 2 is out.
Great.
Carrie Preston's fantastic show. Great. Our friend Rob Riggle was in an episode and was fantastic. I'm really loving High Potential. The Caitlin Olsen, Drew Goddard show adaptation.
I didn't realize that's Drew Goddard.
Drew Goddard, Drew Goddard adapted it from, I can't remember, it's a foreign, they've done it someplace else, I can't remember where. That show's a blast. I'm a sucker. I'm in my Leslie Manville era right now.
Okay, I love this.
I'm a big Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris fan. Love that movie.
Okay, that's very much my stepmother.
Love it. She also has that show on BritBox called Mum that I think is a beautiful half-hour sitcom. But I've gotten very into her murder mystery series, which is, the first was called The Magpie Murders and the second was called The Moonflower Murders. Fantastic. Like PBS masterpiece theater, like whodunits. Absolute blast. Bad Monkey. I had a blast with Bad Monkey.
I've been enjoying Bad Monkey. Yeah, I liked it. I liked the way it started, and I was like, and you look, Vince Vaughn when he's kind of in that like pocket is fun. I like Carl Hyacin stuff.
Same. That's what I'm liking. I'm really loving the Carl Hyacin of it. The goofball stuff. And then I know I've talked in the past about my new love of anime. Now that I have my Crunchyroll subscription and I've become obsessed with anime. The show, it's not Crunchyroll, it's Netflix. There's a show called Dan to Dan that is straight bananas. Visually incredible. The story is absolutely cuckoo crazy. It's a blast. I think this show is absolutely fantastic, and everybody should be watching.
And that's on Netflix as well, I believe.
It is on Netflix. I'm sorry. Yes, it is on Netflix. Dan to Dan. This year there have been. Go ahead. What do you got?
Well, I was going to say, I wanted to shout out our friends. We talked about Letterkenny. You brought Letterkenny into my life.
And Shorzy.
Michelle and Shorzy. That Michelle Millette has a Letterkenny watch along podcast now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's called Spare Parts. It's her and Evan Stern.
Okay,
also from the show, and they're going to do the whole, cool. the whole 80 episodes.
Oh, that's great. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited to listen to that. Oh, that's great. That Letterkenny and Shorzy, I think, are two of the most exciting half-hour comedies to come out in the last 10 years.
Ooh, can I plug the movie that I am in that I have a very small part in? So I don't want to like plug it in the Paul's telling us a movie that he thinks is funny.
Yeah.
But this movie that I did, again, very small part. It's called The Gutter with Shameik Moore, Darcy Carden, Susan Sarandon, and Paul Reiser. It is a big, dumb comedy. It's written by Yasser Lester and directed by him and his brother. And it's like Happy Gilmore meets Kingpin. It's so funny. When I saw it in South by Southwest, it just was nonstop laughter. I haven't been in a theater that was laughing. That's how I feel about Letterkenny too, like where I'm just like laughing. It's got like 10 jokes a minute. It's just like bam, 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 bam. So if you don't like one, there's like 10 more, and Darcy's so funny in it. There's great cameos. Jay Ellis is in it. I'm in it. Nelson Franklin, a bunch of great people. It's a very funny, big, dumb movie. Like super dumb.
Oh, I love that.
The Gutter.
There have been, I would say this year, as I am kind of winding down my year and making my lists, there have been a number of, I think, absolutely fantastic stand-up specials this year.
Yeah.
So I'll just shout out a bunch of them right now. Ali Wong's Single Lady is terrific. Absolutely fantastic. We've had them both on the show to talk about them, but Joe Mandy's Chill and James Acaster's Heckler's Welcome are both terrific. Fantastic. Langston Kerman's Bad Poetry is incredible.
Really liked it. Really liked it a lot. It's
incredible
so funny.
stand-up special. And then on YouTube, one of my favorite stand-ups who's very difficult to see his stuff because he's based in the UK. He's very different. He doesn't post his stuff anywhere. It doesn't stream anywhere, except Stuart Lee has one special streaming on YouTube right now, and it's called Basic Lee Live at the Lowry, and it's fucking hysterical. It's great.
Ooh, I'm excited about that. I want to also shout out, like, Dropout has been doing some interesting specials as well.
Oh.
And Courtney Peruso,
the best.
So funny. She has a special called Vanessa 5000, which was a stage show here. And it is, if you have Dropout, watch that special. It's really fun. It's just, I mean,
Courtney is part of the clown, the LA comedy clown scene that's built around the Elysian Theater in Frogtown. She's partnered with Natalie Palmides on a lot of things. Natalie Palmides, you might know from Nate on Netflix, the special Nate, which is incredible. Courtney's had 2 phenomenal specials that have gone to Edinburgh, Gutter Plum and this one that you're mentioning.
Yeah.
And she
Vanessa
is
5000.
so fucking talented and so funny.
It's like one of those things where it's like, if you want to, it captures also something that I don't think a lot of people who live outside of major cities get to see. Like, it's a very cool, like, I love that Dropout is doing that, and they have a lot of cool shit on there.
So I guess I need to figure out Dropout. Dropout is a thing I don't quite have my my arms around.
It's Crunchyroll.
Really.
Just think of it like Crunchyroll. It is.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
just
a slate of shows.
It's a slate of shows that they make with original comedy series that are nowhere else. It's, it's games. It's very important people hosted by Vic Michaelis. Really, really funny. They have
they're so funny.
Yeah, they have a D&D show called Dimension 20. Funny game shows.
Them.
Yeah, they have Thousandaires is another popular game show that they have. Smarty Pants. Yeah, a bunch of great stuff, and they're doing they're doing specials. They're doing a lot of cool shit. That's great. Yeah, so you can sign up for a full year. I believe, let me look here and tell you how you can get it. And it will be functional like a Criterion Collection or anything like that. It's $47 for the entire year.
That's great.
Great. A really easy decision.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. I want to shout out one more thing, and then I have a request.
Okay.
My shout out is for, we've talked about them in the past, and I'll talk about them again. Tom Bin, our backpack making friends in Seattle, have put out 2 new bags that I've been using obsessively. One of my favorite all-time bags is the Synapse 25.
Love that bag.
Which is my favorite bag, but doesn't always function in the way I want it to. And they have built the Cynic 26, which is that bag, but with everything that I wasn't wild about fixed. So it is a 26-liter clamshell opening, incredibly organized bag. Cynic 26, fantastic bag. And then they put out a new travel bag that I've been using on tour and traveling around because it's bigger, which is called, I think, the Bixie or something like that, but it's great. It's a great bag for weeks of travel, which is sadly what has been going on in my life in the past bunch of months, all for good reasons.
I gotta look at this. I gotta look at this bag.
That's been great. Both of those bags I love. And then there's 2 shows. Thank you, everybody who has been so helpful in getting me shows that I can't get otherwise. There's 2 shows that I'm looking for that I can't find. I really want to watch Stephen Knight, who created Peaky Blinders and all the other stuff that we love, created a show called This Town in the UK that is about the punk ska scene in London, the specials and madness in like the 70s and 80s. It's a TV show about that era of music and bands. I want to watch that show, but I can't find it.
Okay.
The other show I want to watch is the Showtime show Flatbush Misdemeanors. If anybody can help me find either of those shows, I would appreciate it.
Okay, I love it. All right, Jason, we will see you next time. Bye for now. All right, I hope you enjoyed Just Chat. And now it is time to finally announce our next movie. Next week, we'll be going from a body swap fail, or I should say possession, to Santa's mail. That's right, a body swap fail to Santa's mail. I have to make sure the rhyme works. That's right. Next episode, we'll be watching the 2010 made-for-TV holiday rom-com Christmas Mail. It's actually not Christmas Mail. It's You've Got Christmas Mail. And that will be our live streaming episode with Jessica St. Clair. You can get tickets right now at hdtgm.com. You can watch it wherever you are in the world. Here is a breakdown of the plot. A mysterious woman who works at the post office answering Santa's mail captures the heart of a disillusioned postal carrier. There are no reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. So instead, we turn to Letterboxd, where user Cameron writes, Christmas Mail is simultaneously 0 stars and 5 stars, worse and funnier than The Room. Oh, shit, I can't wait. Let's take a listen to the trailer for Christmas Mail.
Matt has a job.
Matt, there's no slacking at the U.S. Postal Service. We got 4 weeks till Christmas.
Emily has a wish.
Dear Santa, I live with my uncle, but he's all alone except for me. And I think he needs a friend. Can you help my Christmas wish come true? Love, Emily.
Christy has a secret.
What's going on in here?
I'm on special assignment from corporate. You didn't get the memo?
Nope. No memo.
Now, we recently mentioned the poster for this movie uses the title, We've Got Christmas Mail. But if you look at it on streaming services, you should just search Christmas Mail. Okay, now I corrected Scott. Now he's correcting me. So yes, look for Christmas Mail. I don't think it's going to be too hard to find. Christmas Mail. It's available to stream on Peacock, Amazon Prime Video, Freevee, and Tubi. All right, so watch the episode uncut on December 12th with Jessica St. Clair, or get just the audio version if you want next week. Either way, it's going to be fun, but the video episodes are a lot of fun. We're going to add some fun bonuses in there. And heads up, if you plan to listen to the podcast version of the episode, we are doing a fast turnaround to release it the very next day after the live stream. So the episode will likely hit your podcast feed Friday afternoon or evening instead of first thing in the morning like usual. And if you're going to complain about that, it's not the time. It's not the time, people. All right, that is it for Last Looks. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please rate and review us. Please also make sure that you are following us and have automatic downloads turned on. It helps the show, and we appreciate it. Visit us on social media at HDTGM. And a big thank you to our producers, Scott Sonny and Molly Reynolds, and our movie-picking producer, Avril Halley, our associate producer, Jess Cisneros, and our engineer, Casey Holford. We will see you next week for Christmas Mail.